Welcome back to Pompey Scrapbook. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and please go down below and click the like button. It's very much appreciated. So we're back for a special edition. We've jumped on here, Tony, because Portsmouth have been promoted.
Well, we knew it would happen. Well, we hoped it would happen. We were fairly confident it would happen, and it has now, which is great news.
Yeah, so a huge congratulations to John Mousinho and the awesome squad that he's put together. It has been quite a season, and we're here for a little bit of a party, Tony.
Indeed, yes. There we are.
Yeah.
There we are.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, yeah, it's been quite a year. What do you think of this Pompey team, Tony?
Well, I've been saying it for a while now. This team has had something different about it. It became clear fairly early in the season, the number of games we were winning from losing positions, that this team had a lot of fight and had something about it. And I went public with a few people who said, I thought we'd get promoted. I thought we'd win the league. Yeah, it's all credit to them. Senior's done a great job.
And the recruitment with Richard Hughes.
Exactly, yeah. We've assembled a hell of a squad of players. The fact that we can afford to lose the number of players we've had injured, and it doesn't seem to make any difference. They just carry on.
And you're just playing games, knowing that you can bring, a Sadie or a Lang or a Yengi off the bench. It's a hell of a position to be in. And like you say, just a team with a knack of winning. The number of games we've been in, and I've watched the first half and thought, well, that wasn't great. But you just know every time that we're going to usually kick on in the second half and get something from it.
Yeah. And the fact that we managed to cover the loss of players like Regan Poole and Alex Robertson. I mean, they're two superb players out for the season.
Joe Morrell and McIntyre signed for 20 minutes.
Yeah, but it's been brilliant.
Yeah, it's been an awesome season.
Yeah.
But we're not here to reminisce about this season. We're here to talk about the wider promotion party. So this is the promotion party episode, and we are going to take a look at some previous promotion parties. So I made a list. So promotions that we've had. So I started supporting in 78, or started coming in 78, and I think I've been a bit spoilt. So in my second season, we were promoted from Division 4. So that was the promotion that happened at Northampton. So you supported them for probably 10 years before then.
I went to my first game in 1969, and my first promotion was also at Northampton in 1980. The 70s were a dire decade for Pompey. It was basically far more losses than wins. We went down from the second division down to the fourth division, and it was only that 78-9 season when we actually started to win games again.
Yeah. So
and then the following season, we scrambled the promotion.
So timing-wise, I was lucky.
You came at the right time.
I saw that promotion, and then it was only 2 or 3 seasons later, and we're winning Division 3 to go up again. And it was then 86, 87 we were promoted from that league into the first division.
After a couple of very near misses, we'd finished fourth twice in the days when there were no playoffs.
Alan Bull's little personal struggle to get us out of that league.
Yeah. And finally made it in 87.
Yeah, and then probably onto my best memory of a promotion would be the 2002-03 winning the championship.
Yeah.
Was it called? Was it Division 1?
I think it was just Division 1 then, wasn't it?
And I think when we came back to it, it was the championship.
Yeah. But that that was something different because that was based on exciting attacking football, lots of goals, and it was brilliant to watch. I mean, that was a club record number of goals and number of points in a season.
98 points,
That was
wasn't it?
98 points and 98 goals, I think.
And of course, by then, having been spoilt at the start of my Pompey career, I then had those 15 years in the Championship or whatever it was. So I'd kind of come back down to earth a bit. So to see us get promoted and the way we did it then was awesome. Then, of course, we had our slide down the leagues. And then, of course, we came out of League Two as champions somehow. We scraped that on the last day.
It was never in doubt, was it?
And then here we are today, getting promoted back
Yeah.
into the second tier. So that's the little potted history. So we're going to look at 3 of those promotions, and we're going to start by taking a look at Northampton. So we can't do this in glorious Technicolor video because there wasn't any.
It seems incredible now when you think about it, where every game is recorded. But here we have a game where just no video evidence of it exists.
Yeah, so an amazing day. It was my, I say, we talk about the start of my Pompey career being spoilt. This was my first away game, was to go to Northampton and watch us get promoted. And my second away game was going to watch Pompey at Anfield in the Milk Cup. So it's not a bad start, is it?
It was only going to be downhill after those two, wasn't it?
So this day then at Northampton, 3rd of May, 10,700 and something attendance. How many of those would have been Pompey?
You never actually knew because another amazing fact, it wasn't all ticket. You just turned up and paid on the gate. And the estimate was about 9,000 Pompey fans there.
Yeah. And it's 3-sided ground, wasn't it, at the time?
Yep. Yeah, they got
it was a cricket ground, wasn't it?
on one side.
Yeah. Okay, so this was...
It was an amazing day. I mean, I remember the driving up there, the arriving, all the supporters around, everybody was excited for what might happen. That's the thing, what might happen. It was certainly not certain that it was going to happen.
And it wasn't just winning in, was it? We had other stuff had to go in our favour.
From memory, there was, I think, Huddersfield and Walsall were already promoted. Then it was down to 2 out of us, Newport County and Bradford City. And we were actually in 5th place. We were the worst placed team of the 3. We had to have either Newport lose or Newport fail to win and Bradford lose. That was one of those had to happen, and we had to win, obviously. And we all thought the best bet was that Newport, who were playing away to Walsall, would be the one that might slip up. As it happened, it wasn't. Newport won quite comfortably. And it was Bradford who slipped up by losing to Peterborough.
So this is the match programme. I'm going to use the term loosely.
It was 2 sheets of paper, basically.
So that's the front cover of that, and I guess that's the back.
That was the back, yeah.
So there we go. Mellor, McLaughlin, Bryant, Farpost, Brisley, Peter Ellis. Peter Ellis, I seem to remember, is one of your favourite players.
He was, yeah. I love Peter Ellis. I thought he was a brilliant player. He was one of those first utility players. He could play at fullback, midfield. Here he is filling in at centre half, even though he wasn't at all.
And there were other games then where he was quite often used as our sub. And like you say, useful because he could come on. He could probably play anywhere along the back line. You could probably squeeze him in the midfield.
Yeah.
Pretty versatile, yeah. Steve Davey, my favourite player of the time.
Indeed, yeah. And another one who came to us as a centre forward and ended up as a centre back.
Jeff Hemmerman.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they spelt Jeff correctly there.
Don't think they have, no.
Joe Laidlaw, Steve Perrin, Jimmy Rogers, Alan Rogers. Jimmy Brown, sorry. Alan Rogers.
Jimmy Brown, yeah.
And
Jimmy Brown.
he was.
Jimmy Brown was on loan from Aston Villa.
Did he also play for Brighton? Or am I
Ooh,
in that? Or do I just remember him scoring against Brighton? Anyway,
maybe.
so let's have a look. What else have we got in our photos? So we did some good ticker tape back then, didn't we?
We certainly did, yeah. I mean, it's sad that such an important day in the club's history, there's very little even pictorial evidence of it. And this is about all we could cobble together from various sources.
I like we did there. We cobbled it together.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Almost planned that, wasn't it?
That looks like there's a bit of singing Liverpool songs going on there with the scarves.
Yeah.
Now there's a line up on the bench, isn't there?
Go on then, go through them.
Alan Rodgers, injured.
Yep, in his suit because he didn't play. I think he pulled out late on.
Injured, I presume.
Yeah, injured.
Because he was great back then, wasn't he? Gordon Mead was the kit man, wasn't he?
He was indeed the trainer, as it was then.
Frank Burrows, what he's doing in that picture, I don't know.
Great man, Frank.
On
He
the
was a great.
far right, David Gregory was the sub, so I know that's probably got to be him.
Yep.
Who's the guy with the tash?
And the guy with the tash in the suit is Archie Styles, left back, who was obviously injured as well at the time.
Yeah, so just joined in as a coach.
Yep. Well, he was a very experienced player, and he'd played in the top division with Birmingham. So just adding his experience, I guess.
So, as fate would have it, at my first away game, my favourite player, late in the first half, Steve Davey, connects with that header.
Yes.
And
number 4, Terry Brisley there.
So
And this
Cross must have been coming this way because Brizzy's at the far post.
Yeah, probably an Alan Rodgers. No, he wasn't playing course, was he? Ian Purdy, who took his place, probably an Ian Purdy cross. And
Scottish, Ian.
maybe it's from memory. It was a looping header that just seemed to go up, deceive the keeper, and here we are. There's the result, dropping in.
And Purdy got the second goal, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And I'm not sure we're allowed to show this. It's nudity on. So
Have we on to the watershed?
So I'm going to try and name these. I'm not 100% sure I'll get them. Dave Gregory on the left, Terry Brisley,
Yep.
Jeff the Hammer Hemmerman,
Yes.
John McLaughlin with a hat on.
John McLaughlin with the natty hat on. Yeah.
At the front of the swimming pool is Peter Ellis,
Yes.
Peter Meller.
Yeah.
Now the tricky
Who's the
one.
other two then?
Huh?
Who's the other two then?
Is it Purdy in the corner?
It's Purdy hiding away in the corner. Yeah.
And is that Perrin then, the other one?
That's Steve Perrin. Yeah.
A clean sweep. Well, I didn't think I'd get all of those.
So we're just missing Joe Laidlaw, Steve Davey,
Yeah.
Keith Viney, who was left back.
Yeah.
The good old days of a bath, not showers.
Yeah, God, you wouldn't do that now, would you?
Right, no chance, is there?
So that was Northampton.
And as we said, it's a great shame that there's no more pictorial or video evidence of what was a fantastic day.
Yeah.
And it basically was the first time, 11 years I'd been going, the first time I'd seen us win anything.
And there's no, even without the TV coverage, these days with mobile phones, you get all sorts of little clips, wouldn't you? But just
Yeah.
back then wasn't a thing.
No, just wasn't.
No. Okay. So we move on to our next promotion. So we've had.
Cheers.
Oh yes. Oh, we cheers each promotion. That's good plan.
Yes.
So out of the bottom tier, away to Northampton, we're going to win the league as the next one, which is we're going to show Southend at home from 1983. So we've got a few little.
I guess it's only 3 years apart, but quite a lot happened in those 3 years. Frankie Burrows, who was the manager, departed in 1982 after a disappointing season.
Hmm.
Bobby Campbell came in.
Where did he come from?
Well, he obviously played for Pompey back in the 50s, 60s, I believe. He played for Pompey, and he was also part of their training. He was Gordon Neve's sidekicks on the training side
Hmm.
for a while. Where he actually was before, I'm not sure. He must have gone away and was coaching elsewhere.
Okay.
And then we called him in.
Let's look at some clips from here then. So some things haven't changed. Alan Rogers is still there.
Still taking a perfect corner. And who's that lashing it in? It's Kevin Dillon.
And Dylan, yes.
This is against Southend, as we should say.
Yeah. Have we got a replay of that one? Yeah, here we go.
Probably pulled up
And the
for a
keeper
foul on the
didn't claim
keeper.
it. And Dylan did.
Yeah.
I remember the commentary was. Okay.
Kevin Dillon had only just arrived from Birmingham. And that was a big signing at the time because he played for Birmingham in Division 1. Then all of a sudden there we were in Division 3 signing a player like that.
I always remember him being a good solid midfielder, but I mostly remember him for penalty taking.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal, wasn't he, with the penalties?
He was pretty good. He's got a hat-trick of penalties once, it was.
So a corner to Pompey.
And
that man Biley.
Yeah.
86 rated on the Pompey cards.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got some fans on the pitch. What's going on here? Hugging Alan Biley while he's still got the smoke in his fag.
Oh, look, there's another one. Anything happened in those days. But that was another Rogers cross.
Yeah.
And, yeah, fairly simple header for Biley, but...
Yeah. So let's wind it on. So it's 2-0. Let's wind it on towards the end of the games. We want to see some celebration, don't we? So
we do.
Now this is farcical. Look where the fans are.
This was what happened in those days, though. This was people just came down, stood on the side, and actually. And the linesman still trying to run up.
I don't know what the linesman's given. It's like someone picked it up, ref.
But I think the ref blows the whistle here. I mean, wouldn't you think you'd blow the final whistle when you were somewhere near the tunnel?
Yeah, the worst possible place he could have done it, isn't it? I think he warned the Southend player, I'm about to blow the whistle here. He's like, well, cheers, thanks a lot. Yeah. I'll run through these 20,000 people.
Look how quickly the pitch fills up.
I've watched the full highlights of this game, and I've got a feeling, wasn't the attendance for this something like 18,000?
Yeah, the official attendance, yeah.
But that's the point, is that playing today, you wouldn't get a ticket for that game. You would struggle like hell.
Again, it was just turn up, pay your £1.50 or whatever it was to get in, and that was it.
Bobby Campbell. Those changing rooms look like they haven't been painted for 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 90. Again, it was a good day. This was different to the Northampton one because we'd been top of the league for most of the season and knew it was coming. The Northampton one was a touch and go.
Yeah.
This you knew it was coming, and it was just the celebration that it was actually over.
The Northampton one's like when we came out of League Two.
In some way, yeah.
Going into the last day, thinking this might not end well, and then you're champions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard to think that a year later, Bobby Campbell had gone as well.
Okay, so moving on to the third of our promotions that we're talking about in this promotion party. And this is the 2002-2003 season, which is Pompey winning what was the first division then, which was the second tier. So an interesting season because I always view this kind of financially as a perfect storm that happened for Pompey this year, in that Pompey had Milan Mandrek, who'd come in, was willing to back the club, put some money in to pay wages, whereas the same year, ITV Digital, which was the sponsor for the football leagues below the Premier League, had gone bust, or was going bust. So there was a lot of fear, because there were hundreds of millions of pounds being lost in those leagues, that a lot of clubs were going to disappear. So Pompey found themselves in the position that they could pick up players on frees, and we assembled quite a team. So which players came in on for cheap then, Tony?
We brought in the likes of Arian Dazoo, Aidan Fox, Richard Hughes.
Steve Stone?
He came in during the season. Yeah, I'm thinking of the ones who came in at the start. There's another midfielder, Carl Robinson, Festa, Gianluca Festa,
Sherwood was another
and then
mid-season one.
of course on the eve of the season starting, we brought in Paul Merson.
Yeah, what a signing! What a signing!
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it is indeed. And as the season went on, as you mentioned, we brought in Steve Stone, Tim Sherwood, and then in January, when we suddenly thought we might need some extra goals, Yakubu appeared. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a hell of a list of players to play in that division, isn't it?
I remember the first time I saw Yakubu play, I was sat in the south stand. No, north upper. I was sat in watching him play, and he went flying down the pitch, and it was like he was on a motorbike. He was
Yeah,
just so bloody fast.
yeah. He was electric when he first arrived.
So we won the league that year, and we won it fairly comfortably, didn't we?
6 points, I believe.
So we finished on 98 points that season. Did you say
Yep.
98 goals as well?
I think 98 goals as well. Yeah, or 97 maybe.
Okay.
97 or 98 goals. Yeah.
So I'm going to start with this clip. So this is the game against Burnley that actually clinched promotion.
It was on a Tuesday night. We could have clinched it the weekend before, didn't. And then there's Toddy, and a famous bit where he just leaps into the frat net. The yellow card, of course, for doing it.
Yeah. Quasi.
This was quite late on. I think this was about a quarter of an hour from the end, so it was 0-0, 0-0. It was looking like we might be frustrated again, but Toddy was there.
So we'll leave that one there. There was obviously celebrations at the end of that game. The reason I'm going to leave it there is because we're going to go on to this game instead. So this was home to Rotherham, and this game clinched the title, didn't it?
It did. This was about 3 games later, maybe 2 or 3 games later. It was one of the odd games on a Sunday night.
And watching it back, I was there this night, obviously, but it just mystifies me as to the difference between the first half and the second half.
Yeah. Yeah, all the goals came in the first half, didn't they? And as you said, the second half wasn't a hanging on job, but it was like almost waiting for the final whistle. But one little point of interest, playing for Rotherham this night was Richie Barker.
Oh yes, yes, I remember that being discussed when he came in as our manager.
Yeah. This is
dodgy penalty. That's what this is.
a bit of a soft penalty.
He's telling Toddy about it. Toddy doesn't care.
Do that to Toddy. Oh.
Well, Well, I think he should have been sent off myself.
Absolute dead cert penalty.
Branston,
And we got
his name is still telling everyone about it.
yeah.
Merce don't care.
That's how you take a penalty. Never in doubt, was it? I think when that went in, we all thought, that's it. We're no problem.
We're on
We're
our
on
way.
easy.
We're on our way, is
Yep.
the thing.
1-0. We'll get another one in a minute, and that'll be it. Of course, it's not. Almost straight away. Oh, look, it's Mr. Branston again.
Mr. Angry. Start again. Oh, hello, Pericard.
And there's Toddy.
I don't know what the defender's doing there. It's so obvious where he's going to have to deliver the pass to.
Yeah.
But he still lets Todoroff get there in front of him.
He was a good player, Toddy. He was superb this season, wasn't he?
Yeah, a finisher like we've talked about with the likes of Whittingham and Quinn, but he was a bit more than that.
And there's 2-2.
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, Toddy had a bit more to him than just the finisher. He was a menace, wasn't he?
Nigel Quasi up in the attack. Not back, and there's Toddy again.
Toddy. I wonder if the goalie didn't dive because of the balloons. That's George Best.
It is George Best, you're right. This must have only been a couple of years before he died.
So yeah,
this is later.
That was all those goals in the first half, and then nothing in the second half. And that's it. Finished.
That's it.
Cue the pitch invasion.
Mercer's run off with the ball.
I just think Mercer loved that season. I've seen some interviews with him since then. He talks very fondly of that time, the fans, Redknapp, and I think he genuinely really enjoyed it. It is just a shame we couldn't have got another season out of him.
Everything came together that season, didn't it? We'd had is it something like 6 of the previous 7 seasons we'd been battling against relegation, and all of a sudden the stars aligned. She said the ITV digital collapse helped us. Harry did his wheeling and dealing to bring in a lot of very good players. Merce was like the icing on top of the cake, and it was a great season. It was superb football, lots of goals, entertaining, everything you want, really.
Yeah, and I assume you were at Bradford for the last game?
Yeah, the whole crowd of us went up to Bradford. I think that was another one of these ones where about 10,000 went up to Bradford.
And that was a bit of a farce, that game, because it was like the Pompey players had met a meeting and agreed that we didn't want to score unless Toddy was scoring, because he was in contention to win the
that's right, yeah,
top goal scorer. So it was like people like 5 yards out. No, I'll pass to Toddy.
But we won it 5-0.
You get a hat trick.
He did get a hat trick, yeah, and we won 5-0. I remember the Bradford fans before the game, and they were just pleased that they were staying up because they'd had a horrid season and were in doubt of getting relegated. They'd managed to save themselves, and they were just pleased to be staying up. So I don't think they were too worried about losing 5-0.
And the other person that we haven't mentioned in all of this is Jim Smith.
Yes, who deserves a big mention because obviously he'd been manager a decade before. It was a semi-final of the Cup and very nearly got promoted. And another one of Harry Redknapp's masterstrokes was to bring him back. You can be my number 2.
Yeah, so Harry and Jim thing was going on.
Yeah, it's everything just aligned that season. It was there was no stopping us really.
Yeah. Okay. We'll finish with a little bit of this. So yeah, 6 points. You were right.
Oh yeah,
Plus
haven't got the goal scored on there. We got the goal difference plus 52. Wow,
and then
something, isn't it?
this is Guildhall Square.
Now, were you over there this day?
No, no.
This is the first inkling we had that Merson wasn't going to be around because we expect the captain to come down with holding the trophy, and it wasn't. It was Nigel Quasi. And
Strange, isn't it?
yeah,
Like, having had a great season, you'd think he'd still want to do that bit.
yeah. I think his demons had maybe struck again.
Yeah. Over celebrated, maybe.
Maybe, who knows?
Okay.
But yeah, this was a great day, and it was just unusual for us to be celebrating, and there we were.
Yeah. So.
Looking forward to the Premier League.
Yeah, indeed. So I'm guessing in the near future we might have another little parade of some nature in Pompey then.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will.
Okay. That concludes our promotion party then, Tony. I think it's right successful look back at some celebrations.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. So yeah, well done to Pompey. Fantastic season. For some younger fans, looking back at some of those celebrations will show them how to safely conduct their pitch invasions in the coming week.
Yeah, okay.
And remember, no ticker tape and no pyros. No pyrotechnics.
Looking at that Southend one, I'm not sure anybody knew how to conduct it really. Let's all line up along the side of the pitch for the last 10 minutes.
Some really happy memories. Thanks for helping walk us through that, Tony.
Okay, good.
And we'll see you on the next one.
All right, cheers then. Bye, Pompey.
See you.